Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Doghouse here in Orleans, where tonight the Senators close out the road portion of their regular season schedule and hope to leave with a huge road win ahead of their final 3 games in the friendly confines in Campbellsburg. Meanwhile, perennial coaching titan in 1A, Tom Bradley, has watched his Bulldogs struggle just a little bit as of late, as they have dropped 3 of their last 5 despite having a veteran lineup. So tonight it's the Senators and Dogs set to rewrite the next chapter in their PLAC rivalry, and your countdown to the tip on 12:20 starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast of Senator Basketball live here from the Doghouse at Orleans High School will be my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator Football's own Mark Gibson. Well, tonight should be a very good litmus test for Coach Smith's ball club as tournament time draws near and we look to wrap up the regular season. And in order for the Senators to deliver the program's 5th sectional title come tournament time, of course, this group will have to win at least 2 tough games on the road, as Edinburgh will play host to sectional 62, and they are one of the favorites heading into tournament play. And while the roadmap to our title journey seems a little bit cloudy right now as we await the draw this Sunday on many of the IHSAA championship radio networks around southern Indiana, including WSLM, we wait to see what lies ahead for Coach Smith's guys. They are just 1-3 on the road since the turn of the calendar, so obviously a big win here tonight on the road in conference play would be a huge confidence boost for his guys, again with 3 games left on the home slate portion of their schedule in the regular season. Of course, a Friday, Saturday double dip, busy week this week. Tonight here at Orleans, Friday night homecoming at home against Henryville as we welcome the Hornets to town. And then on Saturday night, the Shoals Jugrocks will make the trip into Campbellsburg before closing out regular season play next Tuesday night, as the Senators will have senior night and play host to Michael Leetzman's Springs Valley Blackhawks. But Coach Gibson, as we said, as the regular season winds down, it's all about confidence, especially whenever you have a young group. And it really seems like this group's still searching for a little bit of an identity, a little bit, especially on the offensive end. It's been a pretty balanced attack most of the year for the Senators, but there's been a lot of inconsistency as well. And we all know, of course, how tough it can be come tournament time to pick up a big win. It's a different world at this level, despite some of our younger guys being used to winning in the past and winning Midwest youth tournaments, junior high tournaments, things of that nature. But especially for our freshmen, tournament time in about a week and a half or so could be a big eye-opener for them. So just in fact, how much stock, win or lose, can you put into a game like this on the road against a very good, annually a very tough Orleans Bulldogs team?
Well, I think a lot. We talked about it last week, actually a week ago tonight at Borden. That was going to be a good test because, Coach Nash was going to make you value each possession of the way they play. Well, Coach Bradley's the same way. They're going to make us value each possession. Are we going to make smart decisions on our shots? Are we going to make smart decisions with our passes? As we're getting down with 4 games left to go, right, 4 before the tournament, you're wanting to make sure everything's going in the right direction, pointing in the right direction, and that includes your decision making and your focus and your, like you just said, your confidence. So this is, is it as important as the win and the loss factor of it? But no, but we want to start playing well because this is a quality ball club, and 4 seniors in the starting lineup, so a veteran ball club. So they're going to make us play smart, and that we're going to have to retain our focus both offensively and defensively, and that's what you have to do. And Coach Smith said that once you get to the tournament, each possession counts even a little bit more, having to value each possession.
Well, on the flip side of the coin, of course, Tom Bradley, who now owns over 300 career wins here at the helm of the Bulldogs programs, hoping his Bulldogs can regroup following 2 tough road losses this past weekend. They made the short trip down Highway 37 into Paoli last Friday night at Chambers Gymnasium, where they fell to the Ramblers, a game where they fell behind early, struggled shooting from the floor, but then made a nice run, got it down to as 6 there late in the third quarter, missed some free throws, had some opportunities to get it down possibly to a 1-possession ball game, but just could not capitalize despite 32 points from senior guard Duncan Gherkin. And then on Saturday night, they make the trip up to Edgewood to take on a Mustangs group that pretty good, pretty solid as well. You'll hear Coach Bradley talk about that here in just a moment as I had a chance to chat with him. But this team they fell to a couple of really good opponents, and as Coach Smith talked about in our conversation for tonight's ball game, this is a team that, although they're 9-11, and sometimes you look at that record and go, wow, Orleans is struggling, they're below 500. Don't be deceived, because it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. They've played a lot of very, very close ball games, under 5 points, under 10 points, games that could have very well went the Bulldogs' way.
And I think it's kind of like our team. It's kind of like this young Senators ball club. People see our record at 8-11, but each coach that you've talked to, in your pregame or we talked to before games, or assistant coaches say, wow, we're really impressed with the Senators, how hard they play. Going into the season when you have this many freshmen and inexperienced guys, sometimes you can't just judge a season by the record. You have to look a little bit beyond that into, okay, who are they playing? Are they playing better than expected? And I think both of these teams, but West Washington and Orleans, have exceeded expectations.
We want to take a moment during our Senator Tip-Off pregame show on our countdown to the tip, brought to you as always by John Jones GM City, to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to our broadcast tonight live from the Doghouse here in Orleans. Senators back into conference play, one of their 2 final games in conference again next Tuesday night, back at home for senior night to take on Michael Leitzman's Springs Valley Blackhawks in a rematch of a game back in December over at the Hawks Nest in that holiday tournament. So a couple of games left, chance for the Senators to try to finish strong within the tournament standings, of course coming in just 1-3 in the Patoka Lake. But again, we thank you, the fans, for tuning into this broadcast tonight. We also want to thank all of our great sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator basketball possible on Salem's 1220. And those sponsors include John Jones GM City, bringing you our Senator Tip-Off pregame show all season long, and tonight's countdown to the tip. They'll also bring you tonight's starting lineups, as well as our halftime show sponsor, bringing you the Senator halftime report. That is Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. And then Ace Hardware Salem will bring you our post-game show here tonight from the Doghouse when it's all said and done and the smoke has cleared. Also a big shout out to McDonald's on South Main Street in Salem, Walmart of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop with Channel Seeds, all great sponsors all season long here for Senator basketball. Step aside, we'll take our first break of the night as the boys have made their way out to the edge of the tunnel and getting ready to take the floor following a little dance routine by the Orleans Color Guard, doing a little Bonnie and Clyde performance here tonight before the varsity game. JV, by the way, fell 45-31, moving Clayton Sullivan's JV record to 12-7 on the year. So as we await the boys, we'll step aside, get that first break in, hear a word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and when we come back, we'll sit down and not only chat with Coach Smith tonight, but also we had a chance to catch up with Orleans head coach, Mr. Tom Bradley, and get his thoughts on his Bulldogs and tonight's matchup as well. Stick with us. A good one on hand here tonight in PLAC. It's the Senators and Dogs. We'll come back with more of our pregame show right after this.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA members, schools, and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show. We're joined now on our pregame show by Orleans head coach, Mr. Tom Bradley, always so kind to join us here in our pregame. Coach, if you would just talk to us a little bit about your ball club this year and kind of how things have went, especially since the turn of the calendar.
Well, we lost a lot of close games early on, which kind of gave us a record that probably wasn't exactly the kind of basketball team we were, because We dropped, I think, 4 games or 5 games, then 4 points, something like that. And we struggled finishing games, and we kind of got over that starting this new year here, where we kind of went on a winning streak and won quite a few games. And I think right now we'd won 4 out of our last 5, and then we dropped a couple this weekend to 2 pretty good teams. So we're playing better. There's really no comparison from where we were before Christmas to where we are now. So that's a good thing, and that's what every coach hopes for.
But I think you could definitely say, especially this past weekend with your games, both at Edgewood on Saturday night and then Friday night down at Paoli, 2 really good barometers for your team to kind of get a feel of where they're at heading into tough tournament play.
I think so, and we did some things nice, that really helped us, and we had some mistakes every once in a while, and I think they really pointed those out to us. And I don't know that there's anybody better than those 2 teams in our tournament. There may be, but if you can play with the guys that we just played with, then you should be at least competitive in our sectional, and we were able to do that for the most part. Gave up a couple big runs here and there, but for the most part, I thought we played pretty well this weekend. It was just sometimes talent wins out, and I think that's what happened to us.
Coach, talk to us a little bit about your roster. Of course, a lot of seniors on this team, and for most people, whenever they think of your roster, they see Duncan Gherkin, and that's kind of the staple on most people's scouting report.
Yeah, it is. We got 4 seniors. We start 4 seniors this year. Duncan is our leading scorer. Cooper Stalker's been scoring well for us at times, and so is Dylan Johnson, and one of our post guys who can step out on the floor, and then Owen Ray brings some athleticism to us. So those 4 seniors have been a big part of our team this year. They play a lot of minutes. They're kind of forced to play a lot of minutes because we've just been playing about 7 guys here recently. We also been starting a sophomore in John Love, who took the place of Isaac Moore, who was starting early on as a junior. And John's come in and gave us a little bit of rebounding help, defensive help, and also he's the kind of kid that can score around the basket, which we didn't really have. So we got 7 solid guys, and Isaac helping us at the guard spot. And then Javen Brock's been our 8th guy, and since Christmas, he's been playing quite a few minutes for us. So really gives us a nice breather when, let's say, Dylan needs to come out with fouls or whatever the case may be.
Coach, from year to year, of course, personnel changes, and sometimes maybe that causes a coach to change their philosophy or some of the things that they like to do. How does this group fit the mold of a Tom Bradley program?
Well, this summer we didn't really know how much that we could play and defend people because we're not very big, and so we had a choice to make, and we worked on our half-court defense and our man defense, and been doing pretty well. We're not giving up too many points. We go at times where we only giving up in the 30s and low 40s, so that's pretty good. Now this weekend, both teams 70 and a 68. Kind of got away from us there, but for the most part, if we find somebody with the same athletic ability that we have, same quickness, then we're able to keep that score down. So our defense is getting better. We just need to continue to work on some things on it.
Talk to us a little bit about your scouting report. West Washington in the doghouse tonight for a key conference showdown. What do you know about Coach Smith's ball club this year?
Really, 2 guys back from last year, Mars and Zink, I think, and both of those have played good roles for him this year. They got a lot of freshmen this year on this team, and kind of changes a little bit in terms of what you can do when you have freshmen, obviously. But I tell you, they seem like they're getting better and better. They're kind of like us. Our records are about the same. We've been playing a lot of teams with about the same record here that we have, and this is another one tonight. But you're hanging around that 500 mark, and I think it's both teams are going to have to really play well to be able to come out on top. It should be a dogfight because their talent, I think, kind of mirrors what we got.
Coach, based on their personnel, based on your personnel, is this a game that favors the backcourt or front court?
Well, we're not real big, and I think most teams have had a bigger players than us, and I know that West Washington has a couple big kids that are pretty stocky. Not what they had last year by any stretch, but we kind of look at ours as not a front court, back court, because our post guys step outside and shoot the ball. So we don't really look at it that way. We just kind of key on the things that we need to do well. And one thing we need to do a better job is rebounding. We thought we gave up too many rebounds to Edgewood that we should have come down with, and we just weren't quite mean enough. And so hopefully we'll get that fixed. But, we're just going to go out and play our game, Misty, and do the things that we do well and try to defend on the other end.
Which is always very disciplined on both ends of the floor with your ball clubs. Talk to us a little bit about the health of your team coming into this matchup and what your lineup looks like for tonight.
Well, we were a little tired on Saturday night in the second half. We started out really well. We got a little bit tired in the second quarter, then we came back in the third quarter and we got tired again, you know, and then we come back in the fourth quarter and we picked it up a little bit, and we had a hard time putting those quarters together. I think the health of us is just that. We got tired this past weekend. We've had 2 days off. We went really light yesterday, and we're ready to play. I mean, they're looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll have a good crowd.
And your lineup?
Well, we'll start the same way we've been starting here since Christmas. Duncan Gherkin is going to start at one of our guards along with Owen Ray. Both of those guys are seniors. And Cooper Stalker is a senior. He could be a guard forward, I guess. And John Love, a sophomore, is going to start at one of our forwards. And Dylan Johnson, the forward center, is going to be our post guy.
Coach, as always, we appreciate the time that you give us on the pregame. Maybe even get a word with you after the ball game tonight. Best of luck.
I appreciate it. My pleasure.
Coach Tom Bradley joins us on our pregame show. Stick with us. We'll have more in a moment. You're listening to the Senators and Bulldogs tonight on Salem's 1220.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show as we bring you our countdown to the tip, sponsored by John Jones, GM City of Salem, as we get ready to talk with Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith, his team in the doghouse here tonight to take on Tom Bradley's crew. The Bulldogs are 9-11. Senators come in with an 8-11 record overall. Coach, pretty good outing for your team on Friday night against Crothersville, 54-51 win, and always a positive whenever you can beat a team in the sectional field.
Absolutely. That was a tough win for us. We played really well in that third quarter, and we were able to get a little breathing room. And then they came after us, and you know, they showed that, you know, they're a contending team by not folding it in and not giving up, and they battled back, and you know, we struggled a little bit against their pressure, so that's something we got to do a little better job of and handling that. And a lot of that just, I think, comes down to having a little more poise in that situation and just executing our press breaks. We kind of just got, like I said, we just kind of lost our mindset a little bit and got in a hurry and didn't look at all of our options. But we were able to hang on, and we had some guys step up, make big free throws down the stretch, which is great. And those type of wins are really solid wins. Is in the tournament, you know, you're going to have a lot of pressure on you as players and have to step up and make plays and make shots, and we had some guys do that. So that was good to see headed towards the tournament.
And, of course, a nice start as well. 4 guys in the scoring column in that first quarter. You get out to a 13-10 lead and just 5 turnovers in that first half of play. So a solid start certainly helped. And then, as you said, you kind of put the clamps down defensively, allowing just 4 in that third quarter of play.
Yeah, I thought third quarter we played really well. We defended well, and you know, we executed some things offensively. We made them play, you know, our pace that quarter, and we did a nice job. I thought we played real well that quarter. And then they picked up the pressure, and you know, if we get a little stronger and a little better with handling that, you know, we're able to, you know, keep that lead where it's at and maybe even build on it. But you know, we didn't, and that's something we got to learn from, and we need to work on hard over the next couple weeks, getting ready for the tournament in case we play them again.
And we've talked a lot in the last few ball games about the volume of free throws or a lack thereof throughout the course of a game. But, Coach, you're able to get to the line 19 times alone in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's huge. You know, that's the advantage or benefit of playing with a lead. You know, we talk all the time how important it is to get a lead for our team. You know, we when we're playing from behind, it's hard for us. We struggle with that, but you know, when we get a lead, we're able to we were able to really control things at times and able to build a lead and go into that fourth quarter, is going to create opportunities for us to maybe get to the foul line because teams are going to try to pick up their press and gamble a little bit. We're either going to be able to shoot layups or free throws. So we do have some solid ball handlers and passers. We just, sometimes we get a little sped up mentally, and we got to get a little better at that.
With the 54-51 win, again, the Senators moved to 8-11 overall now on the season. Coach Smith picks up win number 60 here in the Berg with the Senators. And now, Coach, quick turnaround, as we've talked about a couple of times already in this final week and a half or so of the regular season. A lot of games, little time to practice, and now you roll into this game tonight with Orleans, and you know what to expect out of a Tom Bradley ball club. Always disciplined, always solid fundamentally, but maybe just not the record that one might think of when they think of Orleans basketball. However, a lot of these games that they've lost have been really close ball games.
Yeah, they're a solid team. They've been right there in the thick of it in most of their games, and they've beaten some teams that we've lost to, pretty badly. So I mean, don't look at the record and think that they're not a very good team. They're pretty solid. They've got a veteran group over there. They've got all their guys can handle the rock and they can shoot it. And they're definitely, like they always are. They're disciplined. They're going to play real physical, defense. I think they like to play man-to-man, but, if they have to mix in some zone stuff, they will. But, again, I think they're going to be real solid, and certainly going on the road over there is going to be a major mountain for us to climb. And we're just going to have to go over there and, again, try to play the way we're trying to play heading into the tournament and continue to use this as part of that process we talk about and working on some things to hopefully give us a chance to win tonight's game and also get better moving forward.
And, of course, Coach, it starts with that dynamic backcourt of Duncan Gherkin and Owen Ray, a couple of very, very capable scorers in the backcourt for Coach Bradley, and we've seen that on display as Gherkin was able to post 32 on a very good Paoli team that's kind of hanging their hat right now on their half-court defense.
Yeah, well, Gherkin, I mean, he's been around for a while, and he's put up a lot of points. I don't know if he's a 1,000-point scorer yet or not, but I would guess that he's approaching that, and he can shoot it, and he's definitely filled out, and he's strong around the basket, and he's able to do some things. And then Ray's, and the Stalker kid both have showed signs last year towards the end of the year really being able to step up and play for him as well, and they gave us everything we wanted, and we were very fortunate to beat them in the sectional last year with our veteran team, and it was basically the same group of kids. So, it's no surprise that they're stepping up and playing really well this year. With more maturity physically and also experience, and definitely going to be tough for us to, handle those guys. It's going to be a good test for our guys, but again, I think we just need to come out and focus on trying to play our game and execute, and do the best we can on them defensively, and try to limit them to one possession, and hang around, see if we can, hang around and have a chance to win at the end, see if we can get a lead, as we talked about how important it is for us, see if we can find a way to get in front, and then we're able to control things. So, it's just going to come out to how well we play early, I think. If we can get off to a good start, good things will happen for us.
What can we expect to see out of Tom Bradley's ball club on both ends of the floor, Coach?
Well, they're going, like I said, they're going to play really physical man-to-man defense, and then on the offensive end, they're going to be pretty patient and run motion, spread the floor, run motion, and they're looking for Gherkin or Ray or Stalker, to create or look for their shots, and but you can't count out, Love and Johnson. Those guys can shoot it too, and then they're going to hit the boards hard and be aggressive. They're going to be real fundamental from that end of things, and so again, I think that their style of play matches our style of play. I think if we can take care of the basketball and make sure that we do on the other end, we're getting good shots, then we'll have a good chance. But then again, we've also seen where they'll pick up some pressure, so they may come out and try to press us, which is okay. We need to work against that too. So they've showed some pressing at times and some trapping at times and trying to speed the team up. So they may come out and try to speed us up too, and that's all right because we need to work on attacking that and using people's pressure against them and hopefully creating some offense out of that.
Finally, Coach, what about the health of the ball club coming into this key matchup in conference play, and what's your lineup look like?
Well, as far as our main varsity guys go, guys in the varsity rotation, everybody's healthy, and we're going to go with Bousman, Green, and Zink at the guards, and Sanford and Mars at the forwards.
Key matchup here tonight in the Doghouse, Orleans, West Washington, set to renew the next chapter in this conference rivalry. Coach, we appreciate the time as always. Look forward to talking to you after hopefully a big road win here tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Sean Smith joins us here on our countdown to the tip, brought to you by John Jones GM City. We'll have more of our pregame in a moment. You're listening to the Senators and Bulldogs tonight on Salem's 1220.
Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Bring you back inside a very loud, very raucous environment here in the Doghouse at Orleans High School. Senators and Bulldogs set to get it on in conference action in the Patoka Lake Athletic Conference here tonight. Senators come in again with an 8-11 record, 1-3 in conference play. Bulldogs, meanwhile, 9-11 on the year, 3-2 in the conference, this being their final one of the conference portion of their schedule. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's Keys to Victory is brought to you by John Jones GM City, your pregame show sponsor here on the Senator Tip-Off pregame show. First and foremost tonight, Coach, I think it's going to be valuing possessions. We learned that lesson hopefully last week down at Borden against a similar style of team that Doc Nash has. They value possessions, do the Dogs. They like a low possession ball game, so we have to value our possessions, make sure we get good looks, be patient in the half court. Secondly, limit the turnovers. That's something that's kind of come back to bite us. Not so much overall as it has been in critical times in the ball game. Chances when we've either had an opportunity to balloon a lead and to create some breathing room for ourselves, or chances to get back into ball games. We've just had some really untimely turnovers, and that, of course, will spell doom against a Tom Bradley team similar to Doc Nash's group, because this group of Bulldogs typically will not hurt themselves or beat themselves on defense. And then third and finally, and some people may get a little salty with this, and if they do, I'm sorry, but I just think it's the fact of the matter. I think tonight it's our young pups against the big dogs in the backcourt. They've got two seniors in the backcourt, really three if you count Stalker, but Ray and Gherkin, kind of the motor that gets this whole thing running for Coach Bradley in the backcourt. I really think tonight if our young pups, and I'm talking about Parker and Holden in the backcourt, if the two freshmen can keep pace with the two seniors, I like our chances here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many people out there that would disagree with you, really. I mean, if you looked at our games throughout the season, our first 19 games, when those two freshmen play well, we normally, that's when we're at our best. And, another guy, I'd like to see at times against Crothersville, we saw a confident Cam Zink too. And when he's confident, that makes us better. And Coach has talked about he's missed so much time due to injury or illness or something. It's kind of tough to get that confidence. But no, I agree. Our young guys are going to have to play really well against this veteran ball club.
And again, of course, our pregame show, our countdown to the tip here on the Senator Tip-Off pregame show live from the Doghouse tonight. As always, brought to you by John Jones GM City, as well as bringing you our keys to victory for a Senator win here tonight. John Jones, a proud sponsor of the Senators all season long. Call them at 1-800-I-SELL-GM, 1-800-473-5546. Check them out on the web at johnjonesautogroup.com, or better yet, stop by that beautiful showroom and lot on the outskirts of town. In fact, 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little. We are winding down the clock here to step aside for the national anthem. Again, we appreciate you tuning in for our special pregame show here tonight from the Doghouse, as the Dogs and Senators are set to go at it in conference play. With that said, we're going to step aside, take a break. We'll get ready and come back to run down tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by John Jones, and we'll have the opening tip as well. All right, before we go to the break, I give a little shout out to our PLAC foe, the Bulldogs, as Coach Bradley goes out to center court, and they will honor senior Duncan Gherkin, who this past weekend, including a 32-point outing against Paoli in Chambers Gymnasium over the weekend. Duncan going over 1,000 points in his career as he tosses the ball up to his family in the stands. So we'll step aside. We'll take a break. We'll come back with that starting lineup group for the Dogs and the Senators and our opening tip right after this.
Looking for your next new or used car? Then head on down and check out the deals at John Jones Auto Group in Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, and Greenville. Whether you visit the lot and take a test drive or visit the virtual showroom online at johnjonesautogroup.com, you'll find the largest selection of GM cars in Kentuckiana. Whether it's a car, truck, or minivan, John Jones Auto Group has something that fits your style and your budget. Bad credit? No problem. We will find the financing that's right for you. At John Jones, we pride ourselves at finding the right deal for your situation. Call or visit today, 1-800-473-5546, or go online at johnjonesautogroup.com and check us out on Facebook and Twitter too. John Jones Auto Group, the largest dealer in southern Indiana, serving Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, Greenville. You see so many. Back to the Doghouse here in Orleans. Fans still on their feet as they honor America and our country's flag, as the local Boy Scout troop able to present the colors here tonight for our national anthem, and they remain standing for our flag as the boys were able to make
their way safely off the floor, and we're ready now to run down tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by John Jones GM City. Again, 1-800-ISELL-GM, 1-800-473-5546. John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little. First for the Orleans Bulldogs and Coach Tom Bradley, now 307 and 150 in his 19th season at Orleans. They average 51.2, give up 49.5. Their last outing, a 68-55 loss to Edgewood on Saturday night. He'll start a 3-guard set. Number 3, Duncan Gherkin, 5'10", and a senior at 17.8 points per game and 3.5 rebounds. He'll be joined by 14, Owen Ray, 6 foot and a senior at 6.8 points per contest. And number 4, Cooper Stalker, 6'2", and a senior at 12.2 per game and nearly 4 rebounds. Up front, 21, John Love, 6 foot and a sophomore at 3 points, 2.5 rebounds a game. And 12, Dylan Johnson, the 4th senior in the lineup, 6'2". He averages 5.2 and nearly 4 rebounds per contest. For Coach Smith, 60 and 38 in his 4th season in Campbellsburg. They average 48.3, give up 49.1. Holden Bousman, Cam Zink, Parker Green, as you heard Coach say, start in the backcourt in a trio of guards. All of them 6 foot. Bousman and Green, freshmen. Cam Zink, a senior. Holden averages 8.2 per game and nearly 3 rebounds. Cam Zink, 3.8 points per game, and Parker Green, 7.1. Up front, Harrison Sanford, 6'2", and a sophomore. Nick Mars, 6'3", and a senior. Sanford averages 6.5 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. Nick Mars, 9.5 to lead the team in points, 4.5 rebounds as well. Tonight's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials, Mr. Mike Pickens, Brett Deckard, and Mark Babb. Senators in the road blue, trimmed in white and red letters and numerals, and the Dogs in those home white threads, trimmed in red and black with red letters and numerals. Mark Babbs to the center court logo, that Bulldog on the floor, and we're underway with the opening tip, and it's going to go possession to the Bulldogs here. Actually tipped out of bounds by Nick. No one able to chase it down or track it down, so the Dogs will have the first shot at it. Here's we get things underway from the Doghouse. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson. Craig Akers running the live stream video feed for you as well, as these two teams are locked in a conference rivalry here tonight. Quick shot off the mark. Left side on the layup will not go for Gherkin, but Dogs able to track it down and save the possession. So check it. Second chance points will be big here tonight. We'll see if we can limit the Dogs and how many they can get, Coach.
Yeah, that's actually one that I put on there, rebounding. You know, we've done such a fantastic job of rebounding all year long, especially against a team where you actually have a little bit of a height advantage. You can't let them be so active on the offensive boards.
Owen Ray with it, had it in the corner. They skip it. Cross court 3 won't go for Gherkin. And pulling down the strong defensive rebound is Harrison Sanford. He gives it up to Holden, who brings it into the front court, lays it off for Zink, far side in front of that Orleans cheer block. He'll bring it back, center court, volleyball spike line, leave it off left wing now for Sanford. Sanford to Holden, bottled up now on the left side, splits 2 defenders, speeds down low. Nice pass out of the double team as Sanford chooses to kick it out.
Yeah, he probably could have just went up with that one.
Mars has it though, right side, looking for a dribble drive, gives it back to Parker. Senators burning some precious seconds off the clock here in this opening quarter, deciding to be very patient and deliberate on their first full possession. 6:41 and counting. First quarter of play, scoreless thus far. Dogs and Senators locked in a conference rivalry.
Remember last week at this time against Borden, we were real patient in the first quarter as well.
Senators shot from the left elbow, or excuse me, from the left baseline will not go for Mars. So both teams cold from the floor to start. Back the other way, 3, top of the key, wide open, will not go for Dylan Johnson. Johnson, one of the better three-point shooters on the team at around 40%. Couldn't get the wide open look to go, so the Dogs still cold from the field. 6:11 to play. They'll reset it. Ball last touch by the Senators on the rebound attempt, so a little 1-4 low set. They get it to Johnson. Cross court now, it goes to Love. Nice little flex cut, and on the baseline, they're able to free up Cooper Stalker for the first 2 of the night. Dogs grab the early 2-0 advantage.
That's what an offensive board will do. We gave up a second chance points there. We've given up 2 offensive boards, and they took advantage of that one.
Dogs with 2 second chance points here early. We'll keep track of that one throughout the night on the stat track. As Holden controls it now right wing as he works it against Gherkin, gets into the high post, backs down, kicks out now to Mars. Mars brings it back center court, looking to drive, instead gives it off across the way on the wing to Zink. Zink crosses over, spin move now, high post, kicks back out to Bousman with nowhere to go, and now to Harrison, as they shuffle back through the offense. By one, Harrison and Hunter, confusion messed up and out of the way for the night. 5:13 and counting. Holden draws contact. Savvy move by the freshman as he works against Gherkin.
Nice.
First foul of the night will go against the Dogs, and for Duncan Gherkin again, his first, of course. Again, pretty savvy play by Holden to get to the paint.
Yeah, it's nice. He faked left, or faked actually over his right, but kept his pivot foot so he was able to go back over his left shoulder.
As Holden able to cash in at the free throw line on the year, 18 of 28 for just 64%. Holden trying to kind of right the ship here a little bit with his free throw shooting as we roll down the stretch here in the final games of the regular season. Holden able to get them both to go early, and we're tied up for the first time officially tonight at 2 apiece. 3 minutes gone by, opening quarter of play from the Doghouse. 3 ball back to the other end, will not go for the Dogs as Stalker couldn't get his second straight basket or attempt to go. Got the one earlier off the little flex cut on the baseline. 2-2, Holden back to the other end, working against Gherkin. Again, Orleans with one personal thus far. Senators have not committed a personal, neither team with a turnover thus far.
Orleans doing a nice job of cutting off all of our cutting into the lane. They're doing a good job of cutting those off.
Parker and Holden work a little two-man game. Nice lob feed underneath. Holden drops the dime to Harrison down low on the block, and Harrison's able to drop it into the piggy bank, or was that
Harrison
Mars?
Or Mars? I think it might have been Mars.
Was it Mars? Okay.
But
Saw
again,
a quick turn and a 4 on a jersey, so 34 instead of 24. Mars putting it in the piggy bank instead. Give him his first 2 of the night. Senators with their first lead at 4-2 on our first lead change.
It was a nice look by Holden. He got up in the air, almost kind of replicated his move that he just got to the foul line on, but instead of going up that time, he dropped it down to Nick. So, yeah, there's a nice kind of a recall by Holden.
Owen Ray with the turnover as he tried to go baseline and feed it cross court along the baseline. Pass hit the end line, so Dogs with their first turnover of the night. Senators will reset as Holden will try to bring it up against Gherkin. Gherkin thought he carried it. Holden able to keep his hand on top of the ball.
Yeah, it
as
looked
Zink,
funky, but I think he kept his hand on top.
Zink works at center of the floor, now back right side on the wing out top to Bousman. Holden brings it back top of the key, now off to Parker as he watches the cutter go through the paint. That was Mars. And now back out to Sanford. He's double teamed. Down low they go. Nice feed to Parker. His shot partially blocked from behind by John Love, the 6-foot sophomore, and back to the other end. Gherkin will push. He'll kick out. Stalker for 3. And it's going to be a foul, but it's going to be well after the shot on the follow-through. Babs with the call. And that'll be the first Senator foul of the night on the closeout. And that will go against Nick Mars. So Senators with 1, Dogs with 1 here early in the foul department. 3:18 to go, and the Dogs will reset. Again, not on the shot, rather on the follow-through once he had already come down.
A little bit aggressive on the box out, I guess. I didn't really see it. I was marking down the block from the other end.
You'd be surprised. People might be surprised, rather, how much we missed during the course of the game writing stuff down. It's not that we don't pay attention, trust me. Underneath, nice strong rebound. Harrison Sanford with another one off the defensive glass. Senators operating with the early 4-2 advantage as Zink holds out top now, left wing, brings it back center of the floor. He tries to work the dribble against Stalker. They'll send it over now to Harrison. Will bring it back top of the key. Little 5-out pass, guard cut, little pass and slash and replace. And it will be a drive and an opportunity for foul shots for the senior, Nick Mars. He had a strong take
Yeah, that was
to the hoop, and this will be the second foul of the night whistled against the Dogs. And this one will go
Johnson.
Against Dylan Johnson. So Johnson and Gherkin with 1 apiece. Again, 4 seniors in this lineup for Coach Bradley as Mars steps to the free throw line. And Coach, we've talked about it so much, and we don't want to sound like a broken record, but we talked about it. I mentioned it to Coach Smith. The volume of free throws hasn't been spectacular in some of these more recent games. Senators, though, already to the line 4 times, 4 of 4 in this first quarter, and they own a 6-2 advantage.
And then, you know, if you get into the line, that means you're probably being pretty aggressive offensively. So, you know, maybe that means we weren't quite as aggressive.
So the Senators on a little 6-0 scoring spurt as Max Packwood's going to give it to Mark Babbs and company. Thought the Bulldogs may have got away with the travel. And Max
Parker,
never shy, letting them know about it. So the Dogs will reset. It was a foul, though, whistled on the floor instead against Parker Green, his first of the night. So him and Nick with 1 apiece. Gherkin gets it, drives into the paint, kicks it, corner, Johnson, 3, in and out, no good. Nice rebound again. Harrison getting the Windex bottle because he's wiping it clean on the defensive boards early, Coach.
Yeah, it's his 3rd already. He's doing a nice job of checking his guy out. And I think that makes Orleans 0 for 5 from deep. So, you know, we're getting a few of them have been. That one we closed out real well on, but a little bit fortunate that they're a little bit cold to start out.
And we'll take that because they were red hot over the weekend from downtown. Good shooting from the outside over the course of the weekend, despite the 2 losses at Paoli and at Edgewood. Nice flex cut into the paint. Holden couldn't get the little layup to go, couldn't quite contort his body around to get square, and Gherkin now will push to the other end in transition over Harrison, who challenged his shot. Gherkin's got his first 2 with a little smooch off the window. Make it now 6-4. That ends a little 6-0 spurt for West Washington. They still lead it by 2. And then Nick's going to throw a wild one cross court. Nobody home, and you'll take a little bit of angered instruction from Coach Smith after that errant pass. Our first turnover of the night, substitution. Cooper Stalker checks out of the ball game. Isaac Moore, a 5'8 junior, in for his first minutes of the night for Coach Tom Bradley.
Holden ran a quick slant. He threw a quick out on that one.
Miscommunication on the route. We roll up on 1 minute to go here. Low scoring first quarter of play. Parker on Gherkin, shakes him for just a minute. Nick tries to help, and as he does so, he gives up an offensive board, and Dylan Johnson couldn't get the putback. So Gherkin and Johnson both dry. Johnson ice cold here to start from the floor for the Dogs. 45 seconds and counting. Senators will spread the floor. A little 2-1-2 action here. Little run and jump action, little trapping pressure for the Dogs. Little 1-3-1 look. And in the corner, Harrison, nowhere to go, kicks it back out to Parker. Parker back to Zink, careless pass, nearly stolen. And then nice cross-court feeder look from Harrison to Nick, who couldn't hold on. Turnover number 2, and the Dogs will slow it up for 1. Now with 15 seconds to play, chance to tie or take the lead on a 3 heading into the second quarter of play. Senators sticking with the man-to-man on this trip. They've been in it the whole first quarter of play. Gherkin, 3, top of the key. Timely 3. Gherkin's got 5 of the team's 7. And the 3-quarter court heave will not go as time will expire here in the doghouse on this first quarter of play. And on 5 points from Duncan Gherkin, including that big 3 on the last possession, it makes it a 7-6 score in favor of the host Dogs. We'll step aside. We'll take our first break of the night, or quarter break rather. We'll come back with second quarter action after this. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back to begin the second quarter of play. It will be Senator Basketball out of the quarter break as the Senators come back out with their starting 5. And the Senators will face, it's like a little matchup 2-3 zone here out of the quarter break. Mars catches short corner out to Holden, 3, top of the key. Couldn't get it to go, in and out. Good look. Gherkin will pull it down and race it to the other end of the floor. And Love now will slow it up back to Gherkin. Ball reversal out top. Stalker over to Moore. Moore looks for a cutter. That was Gherkin. Couldn't find him. They'll give it back to him now on the little shuffle out to the wing. He's double teamed underneath amongst the trees as they have to kick it out. Number 20, Javen Brock, a 6'4 junior, in for his first minutes of the night.
Got lucky there.
Shot off the
Gherkin
mark,
missed the
no
three.
good for Gherkin. And the Senators control the defensive glass as Holden will race it up. Second possession of the period for West Washington. Again, a little matchup zone action here for the Dogs in this second quarter. Kick out again to Holden. He passes up the three instead to Zeke, who's off the mark, but Parker with the offensive rebound on the weak side puts it back up for his first two of the night, and the Senators have reclaimed the lead here at 8-7, just underway second quarter of play.
We've talked about in the last couple of weeks that Coach Smith is putting Parker on their best, the opponent's best player, but I think they've scouted that because they are picking Parker off on every single possession. 2, 3, 4 picks. And he's gotten lost a couple of times. Somebody's got to help him out.
Parker's got to feel like he's chasing Reggie Miller through screens all night here, especially thus far as Stalker's able to get free. And he's got his first triple of the night, giving 5 thus far. Fourth lead change as the Dogs jump back out in front now at 10-8. 6:20 and counting, second quarter of play. We will see Johnson check back in with Owen Ray. Next dead ball underneath. Holden counted in one. He gets the little floater, little teardrop to go through the nylon. Count it and one. Foul's going to go against the Dogs. This one will go against John Love, his first of the night. Team foul number 3 for Tom Bradley's group as Johnson and Ray will check in. And it will be Love and Moore who check out. Nick Mars, Cam Zink, the two seniors will check out as Caden Abels, a 5'7 junior, makes his first appearance of the night, as well as 6'2 sophomore Gavin Smith. Holden with 4 points already here tonight, make it 5 as he is 3 for 3 from the stripe. And the Senators go back out in front at 11-10. Back and forth we go. Already 5 lead changes and 1 tie in this one, Coach.
Yeah, and if both teams, play the way they're capable, this one will probably go down to the wire. Very similar in talent, very similar in size, the way they play.
Out front, Owen Ray with it. Decides to pass up a three-pointer. Instead, he'll look to give it up in the corner. And it'll be Gherkin on a dribble drive, and they're going to get Parker for a little nickel dimer on the drive, far corner. That'll be Parker's second, I believe. Team foul number 3. 5:46 to go, so Parker will have to likely take a seat, and that'll bring 5'10 junior Mikey Nichols off the bench for his first minutes of the night.
Like we just talked about, takes your best defender off the floor. So you hate to get those nickel dimers. If it was a foul, it's foul. That was a tough one on the baseline, though.
And a 5-second count, maybe a quick one, as Holden was harassing Owen Ray, not allowing him to get a free look to inbound. So that's the second turnover for the Dogs. Senators turned it over twice in that first quarter, so 2-2 in the turnover department. It'll be a 1-4 press breaker set for the Senators. Gavin Smith to inbound. He'll get it to Nichols, and let's see if we can get it to the middle of the floor. They'll reverse it to Smith, who goes now to Abels on the left side. Back to Smith, the trailer. He bobbled it, gave it up now in the front court to Nichols. Now to Abels. Back to Holden. He drives. Floater. Baseline won't go. In and out. No good. Harrison trying to fight for the rebound. In transition. Senators on the run. Gherkin to the floor. Nowhere to go with it. As Holden just about was able to come up with a steal off the pass attempt to Ray. And then the Senators do come up with a steal. Turnover number 3 for the Dogs. Abels trying to go coast to coast. Feeds it out to nobody home. As he thought Gavin Smith was going to pull up for 3. And the Senators give it right back, their third of the night. Substitution as Javen Brock will have a seat, and that will prompt another substitution here. So
we finished the first quarter with 2 straight turnovers. There's one in the first couple minutes, so we got to slow it down a little bit. We talked about valuing the possessions.
Dogs back to their original 5. Johnson and Love up front with Stalker, Ray, and Gherkin in the backcourt. Senators rolling with Abels, Nichols, the 2 junior guards out there with Holden, Gavin Smith, and Harrison Sanford, 2 sophomore forwards. And underneath, Dylan Johnson on the offensive rebound and had a shot blocked from behind. Jump ball. It'll stay with Orleans on this end of the floor with 4:42 to go. Second quarter of play. Again, 11-10. Senators leading it by 1. 5 lead changes, 1 tie thus far underneath, though. Owen Ray couldn't get it. Nice play to free him up on the inbound set. On the baseline, just could not get it to go. And the Senators now throw it cross court, dangerous pass to Nichols, and he'll go to Gavin Smith, and we'll have a foul on the floor. This will be team foul number 4, whistled against the Dogs with 4:29 to play, and this one will go on John Love, his second personal of the night.
Yeah, that's how they're going to call that baseline, because I didn't really think that was much of a foul on the baseline for them either. But
That'll bring Isaac Moore, a 5'8" junior, back in for his second appearance of the night, and that means Love probably done for the remainder of the half with those 2 personals. Box set for the Senators. They'll try to get a roll back to the basket. They can't get it, so they try to lob it to Harrison. That's a turnover. Turnover number 4, and as Stalker tried to finish at the other end, he's fouled, and this will be team foul number 4, whistled against West Washington in transition. Foul's going to go against Mikey Nichols, his first of the night off the bench. Parker on the bench with 2 already. Mars with 1. 4-3 on the turnover count. Senators on the bad end of that. As the Dogs get their first free throw attempts of the night here with 4:24 to go in the opening half. Nick Mars will check in, as it was Cooper Stalker knocking down the first. Give him 6 on the night. Harrison Sanford gets a well-deserved breather. Mars back in. Second tie of the night at 11 apiece. And Stalker's second one rattles home, so give him 7. And as he will lead the Dogs in scoring. At this juncture, Gherkin and Stalker, the only 2 Dogs to score as we roll up on the halfway point of this second quarter of play. Dogs enjoying the lead once again, their third of the night at 12-11. 3 won't go for Abels. And we're going to have a rebounding foul underneath, I believe,
yeah, it looked
on
like
the
somebody
Dogs.
got pushed. I couldn't tell through there, but I definitely saw a push.
Looks like they're going to get Isaac Moore perhaps for his first of the night. Team foul number 5, 4:07 to play. Double stack, 1 at the elbow, 1 at the block on the ball side, as it will be Nichols to trigger it in. They'll slide Abels to the corner, ball side. He gets it. He'll dribble out of trouble and try to direct traffic. Try to get our spacing down here. A little 3-guard weave in exchange out front. Holden will get it back. As the Senators try to work some clock, they go to Mars in the corner, back to Holden. He'll dribble out of trouble, back to center court, and leave it off now for Nichols out top. Again, Nichols enables the 2 juniors out there with Holden, as it is Nichols who loses the handle. Turnover number 5 of the half for West Washington. Probably pretty fortunate here as the turnovers start to build up just a little bit.
Yeah,
that we're only down 1.
Parker had to leave. Things have gotten a little herky-jerky.
Johnson off to Ray off the spin move. He couldn't get his shot to go. Stalker tries to go over the back, and now we'll have a reach and a foul. Finally, Brett Decker with the whistle as Stalker tried to go over the back of Mars. Had it for just a moment, and on the second chance trying to regather, he comes across the forearm of Nick Mars, so that will be number 1 of the night on Cooper Stalker. Team foul number 6 already. And it'll be Nichols who checks out after the turnover. Zink comes back in. So senior, junior, freshman in the backcourt. Again, Gavin Smith, the 6'2 sophomore, and Mars, the 6'3 senior up front right now for Coach Smith. 3 minutes to go first half. 12-11, Dogs out in front by 1. Abels on the back cut, nice feed, but Zink travels as he tried to gather it in. That's already 4 turnovers in the quarter, 6.5. 1 step forward, 2 steps back for West Washington.
Like I said, they've given us some opportunities to open up a little bit of a breathing room, but we've turned it over several times in the last 6 possessions or so.
Ray with it on the wing, quick feed to Gherkin. He tried to get into the paint. And on the dribble drive, this will be Senator foul number 5 of the half.
Got Holden.
And they're going to get Holden for his first. Holden's battled some foul trouble in the last 3 or 4 ball games, including last Tuesday night down at Borden. And so it'll be Duncan Gherkin. And I don't think the basket would count it. Gherkin.
No, that would be an and 1.
And Coach Smith's going to argue it. And now Mike Pickens is going to correct it.
I'm going to say that would have been a NBA and one.
Little Allen Iverson continuation. That would have been a long time after the whistle, so the senior Duncan Gherkin will have to settle for 2 free throw attempts on the year coming in. Gherkin was 90 of 115 from the stripe for 78%. Hits the first and splashes home the second. So still Gherkin and Stalker, the only 2 dogs to score thus far. And it's 14-11, largest lead of the night for the Dogs at 3.
Risky pass there.
Out front, Abels with it. They'll start to dribble in to the high post, right side, off to Bausman, now to Zink. 2:25 and counting in this first half of play. Bausman with it again on the right wing as Holden will bring it back into the elbow, high post, kick it back out now to Zink. Senators patient as they continue their little shuffle, pass and cut through the paint. Coming up on the 2-minute warning, Mars nowhere to go with it, bottled up in the high post, gives it off to Zink. And now he'll look to go off the dribble. Gets Ray with a step on him. Couldn't get the shot to fall. The Senators will have to race back in transition. And Nick comes up with an interception. Working his BP and his turn and run.
Yeah.
A little buddy arm action, Coach.
Fortunate there, too. They were trying to get a little leak out. And Nick did a nice job using his length. This lineup we have right now is kind of struggling to score. So offensively challenged a little bit.
Nick bobbles it in the corner, and it's going to be last touch by Orleans as they tried to save it. No one really had possession. So we'll keep that clean on the stat sheet. Minute 33 to go. Senators to reset. Little box look. Holden on the ball side, elbow with Mars down below on the block. He'll screen up for Holden. He'll go to the corner, trying to get a rollback or a pin. They finally get it opposite wing or baseline to Mars. He'll kick it back out now to Abels. Senators starting to chew up some more clock here, down 14-11, low scoring battle.
Really need a bucket here, 1:20 to go. Want to finish the quarter and half on a strong note.
Zink out front, little crossover after going through the legs, gives it back now to Abels. 70 seconds to play. Crossover for Abels, now to Bausman, back out to Zink. Senators being patient, but I don't know how long we'll be patient. Minute to play. Holden decides to take green light and go, and a beautiful feed underneath again to Mars. That's 2 he's dropped down to Nick here tonight. Nick's got 6, and it's 14-13, back to a 1-point lead for the Dogs.
Yeah, that was a big bucket. Nice strong take by Nick, nice find by Holden. Now we need to D up for 40 seconds.
Nice time to pick his poison there and time to go. A savvy move with the rock for Holden, giving up the assist with a half minute to go. Gherkin will hold out front. Coach Bradley content to try to get one here to close it out, as Coach Smith and Coach Myers then on the bench pointing things out off the scouting report, what they see in this set. It's almost a little 2-2-1 action as they hide more. He'll run the baseline. Now they'll slide a guy to the wing. That's Gherkin. Left side, gets back into the high post, goes to crossover just inside the top of the key. He is just a stone-cold killer on the pull-up, as he now has 9 on the night. And a long heave for Abels won't go as time will expire, and the first half comes to a close with the host Dogs leading at 16-13 as both teams head into the tunnel for the halftime break. We'll step aside as well, get a word in from a couple of our sponsors, and come back to begin our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator Halftime Report right after this. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220.
Police, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. Let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back into the doghouse where the Orleans Pep Band decided to rock it out here, as they've already had their half-court hoop shoot. Young fella, looks like probably upper elementary, maybe junior high age, sixth grader, able to knock down the half-court hoop shoots. Maybe I can take a lesson or two from him in case I get drawn out again in one of the final 3 home games. Nonetheless, though, both teams in the locker room, Dogs enjoying a 16-13 advantage on the scoreboard. Let's look at the individual scoring first for the Orleans Bulldogs at the half. 9 points for Duncan Gherkin, 7 for Cooper Stalker. Stalker went 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Gherkin went 2 for 2 as well, as they are the only 2 Dogs to get into the scoring column here at the half. Owen Ray, John Love, Dylan Johnson, the other 3 starters unable to score, as well as Isaac Moore and Jabin Brock, who played off the bench for Coach Bradley in that first half of play. Dogs go 4 of 4 from the stripe for 100%, while giving up 4 turnovers in that first half, 3 of those 4 coming in the second quarter of play. Meanwhile, for West Washington, not much more going on in terms of scoring, of course, but just 13 points at the half. 5 for Holden Bousman, 6 for Nick Mars here at the half. Parker Green with 2, but he's also got another big 2, and that's in the foul department, so had to sit for quite a while there in that second quarter of play. Cam Zink and Harrison Sanford, the other 2 starters, scoreless through the first 16 minutes of action. Caden Abels, Mikey Nichols, and Gavin Smith, 2 juniors and a sophomore, come off the bench for Coach Smith in that first half, but none of those 3 able to tally either for the Senators. Meanwhile, they go 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Holden went 3 for 3. Mars 2 for 2 for 100% here in this first half. Senators turn it over 6 times, with 4 of those 6 coming in the second quarter of play. After the first quarter, it was 7-6. Dogs in front off the big 3 at the end of the period by Duncan Gherkin. Senators get outscored 9-7 in that second period of play, as it's Gherkin again who gets a big shot toward the end of the period, and that propels the Dogs to the 16-13 advantage here at the halftime break. We'll step aside, hear a word from another one of our sponsors, and we'll come back and let Coach Gibson run down all the team statistics from the first 16 minutes of play here from the Doghouse, where the Senators trail it here at the half. Again, 16-13, your score. You're listening to Senator Basketball and our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator Halftime Report on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MetaView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back at 16-13. A couple of stats shooting-wise for the Senators. We are 4 of 10 inside the arc for 40%, but only 0 for 4 from triples. So, but a couple of those were last-second heaves, at the end of each quarter. So really, normal triples were just 0 for 2, but I think the turnovers played a big key. And like I said, it's 16-13, so it's a low possession ball game. You can't turn it over. I think you said we had 6 turnovers. How many did they have? Just 4. So, they're winning that battle as well. But like I said, Senators shooting 40% inside the arc, 29% total, 5 for 5 from free throws. I think you covered that. Orleans shooting 3 of 10 for 30% inside the arc, and only 2 of 8 for 25%. But a couple big ones, one from Gherkin and one from Stalker. So, and a rebounding edge. Orleans actually has the rebounding edge 11-9. So, we're going to have to, and I think Crothersville was actually leading us at the half too. So, and we came out at halftime and corrected that. So we're going to have to hit the boards a little bit better. Dylan Johnson is kind of working us. He has 5 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. So we're going to have to keep big number 12 off the boards a little bit better in the second half. Gherkin has 3. For the Senators, Sanford has 3 rebounds, all defensive. Mars has 2. Zink has 2. Holden has 2 assists as well. So, close game, low possession game. That's where basketball smarts are going to have to come into play, don't you think?
Yeah, we talked about that. One of the things we had to do in our keys to victory was value every possession. This is a low possession type of team that Tom Bradley always has, much like Doc's team down at Borden. So every possession critical, and we've had some opportunities. It's been those timely turnovers that have really hurt us when we've had a chance to either expand a lead. We were led by as many as 4 in the first half. Of course, Orleans never leading by more than 3, but in a low possession game, a 5, 6, 8-point lead could mean everything to you with those possessions being at such a premium. But we'll see if the Senators can kind of right the ship here with some sloppy play in the half court, settle back into more of an offensive rhythm as both teams have made their way out of the tunnel for their second half warm-ups. We'll step aside one final time, hear one more sponsor, and that'll do it for our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator halftime report. We'll come back and get you set for third quarter action from the Doghouse right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back getting ready to get you set for this third quarter of action, as it will be the Senators who open up with the rock to start the third quarter of play. And again, Coach, valued possessions big. Of course, also, as you said, keeping a guy like Dylan Johnson off the glass, one of the team's leading rebounders at nearly 4 rebounds per game. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when he's only averaging 4 and he's got 5 at halftime, that's a pretty big stat.
Yeah, and we did a nice job keeping, in the first quarter he got to the rim a couple of times. Second, I think we were kind of, I don't know if we hadn't seen that many picks. It seemed like in every possession they were picking for him 2, 3, 4 times. Maybe we hadn't seen that because he was getting to the rim. Second quarter, did a nice job. I really think, we got to force some tougher shots. A couple, I think Stalker hit one from the top of the key was wide open. Obviously they can shoot it, so we're going to have to make sure we close out on shooters as well. But I think honestly, and you said it before the game, it comes down to can we make smart decisions. We 6 isn't bad, 6 turnovers in a normal game, but like we talked about at Borden, this isn't a normal team. 6 is almost like 10 and a half against like a Borden or an Orleans. So we're going to have to be smarter with the ball.
Second half underway. Senators open up with possession. Green, Bausman, Zink out there with Harrison and Nick, the original 5. for the Senators, also the original 5
Well, we
for
turned it
Coach
over
Bradley's ball club, as a turnover right out of the gate on a careless pass. That was Harrison on the feed, and underneath Johnson to the other end misses a little jump shot from the left baseline, and Zink will slow it up now. So the Senators catch a break, but then Zink nearly turns it back over, throwing it ahead to Holden, who wasn't looking. And so Zink will hold out front, and Coach Smith already going into his pocket to burn a timeout. Neither coach used one, and Coach Smith already at the 7:23 mark, wasting no time, just 37 seconds in, burning up a 30-second timeout to get his guys settled down. Very careless with the rock out of the halftime break, and I'm sure they discussed that at the half. Let's step aside for our first moment of the night. 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Senators and Dogs on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Coach Smith burning up his first timeout again of the night, and we'll see if he's able to settle his guys down again. 7:23 just underway in this second half of action. Parker will throw it in the backcourt to his classmate Holden, and it'll again be more of a 1-3-1 trapping defense out front. And Holden has his pass poked away, and to the other end it is Cooper Stalker who delivers his 8th and 9th points of the night off the layup, making now 18-13, largest lead of the night for the Dogs at 5. Back to the 1-3-1, something we typically don't see out of a Coach Bradley ball club. Usually he's a hard-nosed man-to-man, every once in a while, a little 2-3 matchup zone, but breaking out that 1-3-1, he also had it for a possession or two in the first half.
And they might have got it. That was sort of what Crothersville did to get back when we were up by 12, and then they just started running and trapping. They're going to test us.
And the one thing I like already whenever I see this 1-3-1 is their backside rotation, as Zink couldn't get the three. Nice save on the offensive board, and Parker feeds it to a cutting Holden. Hausman and Holden off the glass with the runner. Has his 6th and 7th points of the night, make it now 18-15. Great hustle on the glass.
That we needed that. That was a nice play for the combined freshmen, because we were a little bit iffy there.
Again, Holden, though, with the pickpocket. Turnover number 5 for the Dogs. Coast to coast, tries to scoop it. No foul call. Deckard right in front of it. And to the other end, they'll leave it for Stalker in the corner. He'll turn the corner and give it off now to Gherkin. Dribble handoff. Back to Stalker. Picked up out front by Parker. As Holden will give chase to Owen Ray. And it's Zink who has the assignment of guarding Gherkin here to open up the third quarter. Senators with the man-to-man most of the night. He's disciplined and sticking to that little nickel look in the half court. 5:45 and counting third quarter. Again, 18-15 your score. Senators trailing it by 3 as Gherkin gets into the paint. Kicks it corner to Ray. Now dribble handoff to Stalker out front. He'll kick it back out. Gherkin thinks about it, lets it fly, and gets a 3 from the right side. And Gherkin into double figures with 12. He averages 17.8 per game.
He's sit there for you. You can't just look at him. You got to close out on him.
21-15 now, the largest lead of the night for the Dogs. And as the Senators will throw it cross court, I tell you what, every pass bobbled here tonight. Just not too sure-handed as Holden gathers it back in. Nice feed, backdoor again. That's the 3rd assist of the night to Nick alone from Holden.
Got to get a stop here.
And Nick's got 8. Make it now 21-17. Back to the other end in the paint. Love had it. Kicked it back out now to Stalker. And he'll give it up to Ray, and they'll let him reset. Coach Bradley calls out what he wants. Little motion set as they'll try to ISO on the wing, and they do for Ray as Holden's matched up with him. Underneath, they get it to Johnson, and Gavin Smith walls up, fresh into the ball game. And we give up an offensive rebound on the backside to guess who? Duncan Gherkin. And that's going to be a basket good. So just like we started the game with second chance points, we pretty much open up the second half with second chance effort points, some for the Senators, but some for the Dogs as well. And this will be the first foul of the night on the senior, Cam Zink. Team foul number 1 of the half for either ball club. And Gherkin, 14 on the night, looking for 15. He's able to cash in on the old-fashioned three-point play, make it now 24-17. Largest lead of the night for the Dogs. to the other end. Nice feed underneath. Gavin Smith blows the wide open layup. Nick saves it to Cam as he flies into the assistants. Coach Matthews and Coach Sullivan, they get him right back out on the floor, rolling up on the halfway point of this third quarter. Dogs with the 24-17 advantage as the Senators go with their little three-guard dribble weave out front. Parker now will go off the dribble, takes Gherkin, couldn't get the finish as it rimmed out. Good look, good take, but to the other end. Nice block!
Ooh,
and it was Love who cut right down Main Street, got the feed from the wing. Nice look, nice patience by the Dogs on the break to wait for Love to run the floor.
That looked like a clean block.
Nick comes over help side, blocks the shot, but he'll be whistled for his second personal of the night, so him and Parker with 2 apiece. And that'll prompt the first appearance of the night for the 6'4" freshman, Jake Strange, who played some JV quarters tonight. And Gavin Smith will check out of the ball game.
Senators in a little danger time right here.
Absolutely, as Love finally on the board. He hit both of his free throws on the year, just a 73% free throw shooter. Makes the most of his only appearance thus far at the stripe. Make it now 26-17, largest lead of the night for the Dogs at 9.
Yeah, we got to cut this. It can't get any larger than this, because just like Borden, an 8 or a 9 point lead is just like a 15-point lead to these teams, so Borden or an Orleans.
Zink back out to Holden, dribble drive out to Zink, thought about 3 to Holden. He'll pull the trigger, corner, boom, got it to go from the corner pocket. And a big 3 for Holden. That's 5 for him already in the corner, matching his first half total of 5. So Holden into double figures with his 10 points thus far, 26-20. The Senators got to find a way to get a stop. But a wide open 3 from the top of the key for Gherkin. And he's already got 9 to match his first half total. So gives Gherkin 18,
unguarded,
right on his season average. And it's 29-20, back to a 9-point advantage. Timeout on the floor, a full one for Coach Smith, giving him 2 fulls and a 30 the rest of the way home. 3:03 to go, third quarter. We'll come back with more right after this.
Yeah.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back to the doghouse we come. 3:03 to play, third quarter, 29-20. Gherkin lighting it up here in the third. He had 9 in the first half, already with 9 off of 2 triples and an old-fashioned 3-point play sandwiched in between, so give him 18. He averages, again, 17.8 per game on the season. Quick spin move. Holden works against Gherkin, couldn't get it to go. Fighting for his own rebound. He'll be tied up by Gherkin, and on the alternating possession, it'll go back to the Dogs, but a great spin move in the paint. Holden just could not get the shot to go.
No. That's how, on Nick's foul. I mean, I think there's been some contact down here that they're just not giving us, but that happens on away games.
On the little backdoor cut, Gherkin goes up and under, couldn't get the finish. Parker with it, lays it off for Holden, and he'll let traffic clear. 2.5 to play. Abels will check in, next dead ball for Coach Smith. 29-20. Senators will try to get this down around the 5-point mark by the end of the quarter. That would be huge if we could, as we go right underneath and isolate Mars on the block. He can't get it to go against Love, who was playing physical with him on the block. And to the other end, Senators got to go back and buckle down on defense. 2-minute warning, third quarter, 29-20 in the corner. Love with it, back out to Stalker, pump fake, he'll dribble drive, back out to Love, pump fake for him. He drives over the trees, and he's going to get a little floater to go. His first field goal of the night, giving 4, and it's 31-20. Holden now will be met at the timeline as he crosses into front court. And off a little flare and screen, Holden will give it down low to Mars, who works again in the post, and this time bumped off the block by Love. That'll be his third. Just the first whistled against the Dogs here of the half. Senators have had 2 personals whistled against them. Abels will check in for Zink. And we will also see Javen Brock, the 6'4 junior, check in for his second time tonight as he'll spell Love with those 3 personals. Senators will have a box set underneath. Parker to inbound on the near side.
Scoring this possession is pretty big because you may not see the ball again. Coach Bradley may take the air out with just a minute and a half.
Holden working a little curl and on the little slip screen. Nice feed, threading the needle. He gave it off to Mars. Holden doing enough to turn that corner and throw it right back through 2 Dogs defenders. And Mars takes it strong to the hoop. He gets fouled on his way to the basket. 31-20, first double-digit lead of the night for the Dogs. And Mars trying to get it back down to 9. He knocks down the first. The senior with 9 points thus far through 3 quarters. He averages 9.5 per game. Second free throw is short, rattles around and out. So 31-21. Under 90 seconds to play here, third quarter. Let's see just exactly how patient the Dogs will be as Ray controls out front.
I'd be surprised we don't see anything but a layup here.
They miss Stalker on a little rub from the high post, cutting through the paint. They get it right back to him, top of the key, as they continue to run cutters through the paint. Johnson will give it off now to Gherkin, double team. He'll turn, go up and under, and it'll be a travel. And that'll be the 6th turnover of the night for the Dogs, second of the half. So the Senators with 1 minute even to play. Let's see if they can now maybe hold for one, or at least pick the right spot to try to attack like Holden did earlier in the first half. 10-point game at 31-21.
That hasn't been our forte to hold for last shots, but a good shot is what we need.
Timing and decision making here as we get a little screen on the flare cut. Holden with a 3, bingo, baby. Got his second triple of the quarter, giving 8 in the period, 13 in the game, and the Senators, just like that, back to 7. 31-24, they trail it. Dogs will try to hold for one. Under a half minute to play now in the quarter. Coach Bradley will survey the damage as the Senators are in the man-to-man. A little overload on the right side. Player on the wing, baseline, and high post. Isolating Johnson maybe against Jake here, or they'll go a little screen and roll action left side. Now they'll bring Gherkin across to the left, and he'll get a high screen. Try to kick out to Johnson. Nobody home. And he'll have to throw up a heave that will not go. It'll be short off the front iron. So the Senators still with some life in them. 8 minutes left in regulation as we roll into the fourth. They trail it 31-24. We'll come back with fourth quarter action from the Doghouse right after this. You're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MediView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back to begin the fourth quarter of play. Senators will have the basketball across the way to inbound. Parker Green will send it in. He's out there with Holden, Jake, Nick, and Abels. As we are underway, and they'll throw it deep into the backcourt, and it'll be senior on freshman as Gherkin trying to give Holden fits in the backcourt. He gets it safely into the front court. Parker, 3, bingo from the corner, far side. And Parker's got his first triple of the night. Give him 5. And back-to-back threes for the 2 freshmen in the backcourt. Holding at the end of the third. Parker to start the fourth, and then back to a 4-point game we go at 31-27. Big shot to open up the fourth.
And
by
it's interesting
Parker.
now we got to the fourth quarter, we're able to put Parker back on Gherkin. Interesting matchup, see how that goes.
Parker survives the third without a third personal whistle against him. And Holden the work across the way on Moore. Back out to Love. Pull-up jumper, rattles in and out, no good. Strong rebound for the freshman, Jake Strange. Senators on a nice little 6-0 spurt like they had in the first quarter to get themselves right back into contention after being down as many as 11 in that third quarter. Mars, baseline right side, back out to Abels. Didn't like what he had in the matchup. He'll come back out on the wing and get it right side. Senators will cut through the paint. Mars had it poked away, looking for help. Coach Smith's got 2 pulls and a 30, and Stalker all over Parker, holding him as he tried to get through to take the ball back from Mars. This will be team foul number 2, whistled against the Dogs. Or excuse me,
Sorry,
team
I
foul
went
number
into fan
3.
mode there, not radio mode. Oh, he was mugging him. That's how I like the DBs to play man coverage.
So Stalker picks up his second. Again, team foul number 3. Senators have committed 2 in this half as Abels controls out top against Moore. Off to Holden, and he'll try to lob it into Mars. They get it into him, and he goes over the top of Love to get it and finishes off the window for 2 more. That's 4 assists for Holden on the night, 2 Mars alone, and that's 8 straight points.
I was going to say that's his 5th total, but yeah, you're right. That's 4 to Mars.
And it's an 8-0 run for the Senators from the end of the third into the fourth here, and it is a 2-point game at 31-29. Timeout on the floor for Coach Bradley and the Dogs. So we'll step aside, get another timeout as well. A minute and a half gone by here in the fourth quarter of play.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back out of the timeout by Coach Bradley. 6:33 to go here in the fourth quarter of play. Senators roaring back, down by as many as 11. They're about midway through that third quarter of play. They have willed themselves to 8 straight. And the Senators dig deep and get it back to 2 at 31-29. Dogs with it out of the timeout. High post feed. Across the way, Gherkin to Moore. His 3 would not go, and the freshman Jake Strange out-battles the senior Johnson, and a feed into the front court quickly to Mars. He slows it up. Abels 3, top of the key, will not go off the backboard, and the Dogs will be on a 3-on-2 break. Abels and Green back. They'll leave it off for Moore. No numbers as the Cavalry arrives on defense. Senators doing a great job of hustling back. And with under 6 to go now, Cooper Stalker will come to the bench. He'll check in next dead ball. And the Dogs will operate once more in the half court with a 2-point lead.
A little bit of a force on the offensive side, but you're right, they did a nice job because it was a long rebound, did a nice job getting back.
Deep 3 out top. Gherkin couldn't be the hero this time to get it to go, and Mars secures the strong board. Coach Smith holds the hand up and says, let's slow things up, as Holden will walk it now into the front court. 5:25 and counting. Green with it in the corner against Moore. They'll feed on the low block. Mars turn around off the glass will go. That's 10 straight for the Senators, and it is a 31-31 ball game, our third tie of the night at the 5:10 mark of the fourth quarter.
And a lot of this, I mean, they're gritty and gutty and they keep battling, but a lot of it's happening down here on the defensive side.
Parker playing free and loose with those 2 personals. Got those 2 early there in the second quarter. Had to set for a while, but he hasn't picked one up since then. Parker and Holden challenging the shooters out top. Moore missed another one, and we'll have a rebounding foul as Abels got slung to the deck. by Owen Ray. This will be team foul number 4 whistled against the Dogs, and for Owen Ray, his first of the night. Substitution as Cooper Stalker will come in. Moore will come out after a rough patch offensively. He'll take the towel out of frustration, toss it behind the bench, and have a seat for Coach Bradley with 4:49 to go in this one. 31-31. Senators enjoying a 10-0 run here into the fourth quarter. Sparked by the 2 threes from Holden and from Parker, the 2 freshmen, and out front they control it. Now to Abels. He tried to feed down low to Strange. Ball was poked away by Love, operating with those 3 personal fouls. So the Senators will reset. 3 freshmen on the floor with Mars and Abels, a senior and a junior. They'll free up Abels in the corner. Look for Jake rolling back. And it's going to be a... Well, I tell you what, that one goes in our favor, but I don't know if I agree with Brett Deckard.
I really wasn't looking, but, early in the first half, 21, Love was kind of getting a little chippy on an out-of-bounds play at the free throw line, so maybe he saw it in the first half.
Team foul 5, Holden, corner pocket, 3 ball would not go. Gherkin has it poked away, stolen, and on the floor, Senators come up with it off of turnover number 7. Parker now with it on the wing, drives against Stalker, lost the handle for a moment to Abels. Quick step, floater off glass, it won't go. Rebound pulled down by Johnson, and the Senators will race back. The plot thickens here in the fourth quarter, halfway home, 4 minutes to play, 31-31. All tied up here in the doghouse in this pivotal PLAC matchup. Senators looking for some momentum. Wild shot will not go underneath for Gherkin, and Johnson couldn't get the putback to go. Now leading the break, Mars will be fouled, and that'll be 5 on John Love. He will foul out with 3:50 to go. His 5th personal, and Coach Bradley doesn't like what he sees right now out of his group. Again, it's a 10-0 run. Dogs dry for quite some time. Actually, Coach, make that an 11-0 run because they were actually up 31-20 midway through the third. So an 11-0 spurt for the Senators.
Good possession here. Be patient. We've had a couple quick shots, I thought.
Good shots,
good
shots,
but quick.
A little quick on the trigger. And Parker and Holden will work it out front with Abels now in a little 3-guard weave. 3.5 to go in regulation, and then Abels throws it away. Holden went for the back cut, miscommunication, and on the Abels turnover, it's Gherkin able to score at the other end. He's got 20 on the night, and the Dogs have the lead back at 33-31. That ends the 11-0 scoring run for the Senators from the third quarter rolling into the fourth. On 3 minutes to play, Jake catches backdoor lob, turns around, hook shot is up and good, and we're tied again at 33 apiece. Off
That's
the
a
basket
nice
by the
confident
freshman
move
big man.
by a freshman.
Didn't see that early on in the season, Coach, as Jake has his first 2 of the night. 33-33, again, game's 4th tie. We've had 6 lead changes. And then we're going to have a foul at the other end as Jake tried to fight through, chasing his man, and he runs right over Duncan Gherkin at the foul stripe. So this will be team foul number 3 for West Washington, the first of the night on Jake Strange. And so the Dogs will reset right in front.
He set a back screen. Jake didn't see him coming, but just one of those tough ones.
Dogs reset right in front of the Orleans bench as Moore is back in. He kicks it in the backcourt, and Gherkin walks it across the timeline, met by Parker. Giving him a little bit of space, maybe too much, and he does. As Gherkin hits the triple, and that's 23 on the night for Gherkin. 36-33, 2.5 to play. Senators will go with a little box set. They'll screen across. Abel sets the puppies. 3 off the mark, no good. Rebound off to Parker. His basket won't go. And Johnson comes up with the offensive rebound. Senators with a couple of great opportunities. Abels with a wide open look, had a chance to get his feet set even and just could not get it to go. 2 minutes to play, and the Senators may have to start giving some fouls. They've only got 3. Parker will come up and force the issue. Under 2 minutes to go now. At the 2-minute warning, Senators trailing at 36-33. We'll see some back cuts and screens now, baseline. And again, if the Senators cannot force a turnover here, they're going to have to start looking at giving up some fouls quick. Harrison Sanford will come back in. And with the basketball in the high post, nowhere to go, it was Owen Ray who had to get it out of trouble to Gherkin. Now back out to Moore. Minute and a half to go. Dogs very deliberate, very, very patient, skilled in the half court. Parker will give up the foul on Gherkin. That's just his third.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to, I mean, that's still, though, you'd rather, if you just want to give up a foul, tell somebody else to make, you know, does that make sense?
Yeah,
I mean,
Coach Smith is going to call a full timeout here and get Mike Pickens' attention. Full timeout on the floor. Minute 25 to play in regulation. And the Dogs will have the basketball out of the timeout with a 3-point lead across the way. They will inbound Senators with just 4 team fouls. And Coach Smith talking about that right now in the timeout. We'll step aside real quick and come back with more right after this.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Senators can't stop believing in themselves with a minute 25 to go. Only down 3. They're going to probably have to give up some fouls here, Coach, and make this a free throw shooting battle perhaps in the waning seconds. The thing is, Tom Bradley's ball club on the year, they shot 283 free throws entering tonight. They hit 216. So 76% team from the stripe, going to make it awfully difficult on West Washington.
yeah, I was just getting ready to say that when we came back from break. You know, we talked about before we went to break, we're going to have to start giving up fouls, 7 of 7 tonight. So I don't know if that's a great thing or not. I mean, you almost have to if you can't get a turnover.
And they're giving up to Owen Ray, 70 seconds to go.
I would definitely try to deny Gherkin, though. He looked pretty smooth up there.
Little 3-man stack, and they'll break guys out of it on a little replace, and it's going to be a travel out front, costly turnover, and maybe, just maybe, Mark Babbs got some help from Senator Nation, who all stood up at one time to yell travel. So turnover number 8 of the night, 4th of the half for the Dogs, a costly one with 54.7. Senators will have it, a chance to cut it to 1 or possibly tie with a 3. Holden out front, works against Gherkin, left side, brings it back to the center of the floor, now to Sanford, back into the ball game. And Coach Smith is going to burn a 30-second timeout. I believe we'll have 1 full remaining in the hip pocket. 41.1 seconds to play. While we have a moment, let's step aside 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Senators and the Dogs tonight on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Back in the doghouse where we have a thrilling finish in store for you. Senators down 3, 36-33, but do have possession after that travel call. So 41.1 to go. We've talked about it a million times. Can you get a good shot? Can you make a good decision, get a good shot? You know, this is sometimes we've struggled with turnovers in these situations. So let's see if we've grown a little bit.
Senators, after 6 first half turnovers, we talked about their play in the half court. Going to have to be more careful with the basketball. Just 2 turnovers this half, knock on wood. Holden has it out front, gives it off to Green. He'll fire, 3, wing, it's short. Rebound comes off to Stalker, and he'll immediately be fouled. See if they get Holden or Harrison. Good look for Parker, just would not go. Right on point, just
yeah,
a
it was
hair
on line.
short.
It was just right in our line, and it looked, I was just getting ready to say a bingo, baby. But no, just a little short.
So this will be team foul number 5. They still have a couple to give. They will
Yeah, you
get
can
this
be
one on
aggressive
Harrison.
here. Be aggressive. See if you can't get a turnover.
Can't give a quick break to the basket. And Holden denying Gherkin like crazy. And it's going to be a timeout by Coach Bradley, a 30-second timeout to save the possession, but a great denial job by holding on Gherkin, who was really trying to get the ball.
Yeah, he was, I mean, and that's what we talked about before the break. I think that's the guy. I mean, I think we need to be aggressive. If we can't get the turnover, get the foul, but I don't think we want Gherkin going up there because he's a very confident ball player right now. I mean, you said he came off a 30-point game. He's, I would say, a quiet 20-some tonight, but it hasn't been real quiet because he's made some plays tonight. So, you know, obviously he's playing very confident right now. So that might be a guy we want to keep off the line.
Gherkin had 32 against Paoli last Friday night in conference play. Put up 20-plus at Edgewood against the Mustangs on Saturday. 23 here tonight as his blistering scoring pace continues as he's went over the 1,000-point mark in his career. Not a lot of Bulldogs seem to do that because they're always so balanced within their roster. But 26.8 to play. Senators, again, with at least one more foul that they will have to give up. That last one, only the 5th, so they'll have 2 more. Dogs have committed 6 personals. Got to hope for a lazy pass and a turnover here, if not a quick foul.
Yeah, like you said, though, you don't want to give up a juke and then go for the layup because a layup would kill you right now. You got to get them on the line and hope they miss.
You just about want the guy that's inbounding it, which is Johnson, to get it back because he's the worst free throw shooter of the starting 5 at just 33%.
That's a nice job by Mr. Deckert there. Orlean, it was a little bit of a push, maybe a little bit harder than, I don't know if it was Harrison.
But you got to understand the situation as officials as well. I know you're trying to give up a foul, and if a guy's running away from you and you're reaching out, you know,
Orleans crowd wanted it, you know, but he did a nice job. He said, okay, we know what you're doing, guys, but easy up a little bit.
So Mars gives up his 3rd personal, 16 fouls apiece, 24.6 on the clock. Johnson trying to inbound, and Harrison will give up the personal. And now a little acting job by Moore, flopping like a fish out of water at half court. Harrison was trying to hold on to him. Actually, Coach, to hold him up from falling on the floor. And now Coach Bradley will lose his lid a little bit with Mark Babbs. But Harrison did grab a hold of him, but
he was holding him up. And then Moore started cartwheeling his arms, you know. I don't know if he was acting or he's just mad that he's getting held on to, but
and the Academy
Simmer
Award.
down, little feller.
And the Academy Award goes to Isaac Moore, as that is the 2nd of the night on Harrison Sanford. Team foul number 7. Moore on the year, Coach, a 92% free throw shooter, 26 of 28. So not the guy you want at the line as he cashes in his first point of the night. Makes it 37-33. Senators are going to need a quick basket at this end. Coach has still got 1 timeout to play with. Tight ball game, 23.6 on the clock, and Moore, as expected, knocks them both down.
Yeah, we're in trouble now. Got to get a quick bucket. Doesn't have to be a 3.
38-33. Mars will take 3. It's way off the mark. Gavin Smith back up and in. His first 2 of the night. Great weak side board work on the offensive glass by Smith as Coach Smith burns his final timeout. It'll have to be a full timeout with 13.4 to play. Again, Senators hope for a personal that's very quick on the whistle, or they're going to have to hope for a turnover. But Coach Bradley, the savvy perennial power in 1A that he is as a coach, he's been around the block a few times, and he knows that Dylan Johnson's their worst free throw shooter, and he's got to make sure that he's the inbounder once again with 13.4 on the game reset, 38-35. Gavin makes it a 3-point ball game. Sure like a chance at a steal and a kick out for 3 to try to tie it, send this thing to overtime. 8 turnovers of the night for the Orleans Bulldogs, 4 in each half. Senators with 8, 6 in the first half, only 2 in this half. Much better job.
But we talked about it, in a game like this, those 6 are big, though, in that first half.
Holt Parker, Cade Naples out there with Harrison Sanford and Nick Mars for the Dogs. It'll be Moore, Ray, Gherkin, Johnson, and Cooper Stalker. Starter John Love fouled out earlier trying to defend Nick Mars. Dogs have the baseline off the made basket, and they'll have to give up the quick foul as it's Harrison once
Not
again.
the guy we want on the line if he's over 90%.
Again, Moore, a 92% shooter entering tonight, 26 of 28. So Moore will walk to the other end and try to cash in on 2 more. Be a great time for him to find his next 2 misses here. Actually, I guess he'd only need 1. Still in the bonus, single bonus. That's the 8th team foul against the Senators. Again, 3rd on Harrison, 11.5 seconds to play. Free throw is up and good.
Boy, they have not missed from the line. Not a bunch of free throws, but it is 10 of 10.
Make the most of what you got to work with, Coach.
Yeah, that's pretty good. If you're only shooting 10, hitting them all is pretty big.
Moore knocks them both down, makes it 40-35, and now there'll be a 30-second timeout by Coach Bradley here. 11.5 seconds to play. A reminder, the JV fell tonight. Coach Sullivan's group drops to 12-7 on the year, a little shorthanded. Bobby Stevens still out with the sprained ankle from last Tuesday night down at Borden. So some guys on the varsity splitting quarters tonight that hadn't been doing that the last few ball games. But the JV team falls tonight 45-31. Again, dropping them to 12-7 overall. And the Senators, after tonight, will have a couple of days rest and time to shoot around and go back to the drawing board a little bit before they welcome in a very solid Henryville team on Friday night for homecoming. And then Saturday night on the double dip back in, Shoals comes to town, and I'm sure they'll be hungry for a little revenge against the Senators after West Washington knocked them off in the Springs Valley holiday tourney back in
Shoals
December.
just beat Valley just the other night.
They'll throw it to Abels, right back to Green, 9 seconds, stops, pops, 3 off the mark, no good. It hit the support over the top of the back of the rim with 5.3 to play, and this one all but over.
Yeah, I think we're in trouble now. If he could have knocked that one down, he still had a glimmer of hope, but unless you get a turnover here.
And they're going to give it into Gherkin, and that's the way this cookie will crumble for West Washington. A hard-fought battle down by as many as 11. They answer with an 11-0 run, get it tied up on a couple of occasions at 31 and 33 apiece, but they will fall here tonight in the doghouse. 40-35 is your final. Senators will drop to just 1-4 in the Patoka Lake. Orleans will close out their conference portion of the schedule with a 4-2 finish. We'll come back to begin our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game show from the doghouse. After this, you're listening to Senator Basketball Tonight on Salem's 1220.
Hello, police. Yeah, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back to the doghouse we come to begin our Ace Hardware Salem post-game wrap-up as the Senators fall in conference play tonight, 40-35, your final. Nice night for the Senators as they battle back from an 11-point deficit midway through the third quarter. Senators go on an 11-0 run of their own to come back and tie it up at 31 apiece. We were tied again at 33 apiece, but that was our final tie of the night before the Dogs seized the lead one final time and never relinquished it, escaping with the 5-point victory here tonight. Again, 40-35 is your final. Let's run down some individual scoring tonight. First for the victorious Orleans Bulldogs, now 10-11 on the year. They finished conference play at 4-2. Coach Bradley picks up his 308th win in his illustrious career. As expected, Duncan Gherkin, a hot night for him from the field, although he started a little slow in his shooting performance. He finishes the night with 23 points. He goes 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. Had some big triples, 3 of them, in fact, in that second half of play. Started the third quarter with 3 3-point plays, 2 of them on makes from downtown. Sandwiched in between was an old-fashioned 3-point play. He finished the fourth quarter with 5 more for his 23-point total. From there, Cooper Stalker chips in 9 on the night. Remember, at halftime, Stalker and Gherkin were the only 2 to score for the Dogs. They had all 16 of their points at the halftime break. Stalker goes 2 of 2 from the free throw line. John Love fouled out of the ball game, but finished with 4 points, including 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Isaac Moore comes off the bench with 4 here tonight as well. That leaves starters Owen Ray and Dylan Johnson, surprisingly enough, scoreless on the night. Javen Brock, the third Bulldog to go scoreless off the bench here this evening in his limited role in the 7-man rotation for Coach Tom Bradley. Bulldogs, probably the stat of the night. Bulldogs go 11 of 11 from the foul stripe for a perfect 100%, 4 of 4 in the first half of play. Dogs turn it over 4 times in the first half, 4 in the second half for a total of 8 on the night. Meanwhile, for West Washington, with the loss, they drop now to 8-12 on the year, 1-4 in conference play. Leading the way tonight, Holden Bousman and Nick Mars. Bousman and Mars with 13 apiece to pace the Senator attack. Parker Green chips in 5 on a night where he had more of a defensive effort and task on his hands more so than offensive. Parker with 5. Zink and Sanford go scoreless in the starting lineup. Off the bench, Jake Strange, Caden Abels, Mikey Nichols, and Gavin Smith all see minutes in a 9-man rotation here tonight. Jake Strange with 2, Gavin Smith with 2, Nichols and Abels, the 2 junior guards, go scoreless on the evening. Holden went 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Mars went 3 of 4 for a total of 6 of 7 on the night for 86%, a perfect 5 of 5 at the half. And really, we were pretty pleased because 4 of those 5 came in the first quarter, and we thought, hey, this is a night on the road. Senators being aggressive, getting to the hoop. Good night for them to try to challenge these Dogs at the rim, get to the stripe. But after that first quarter, just 3 more attempts, and that really spelled some trouble for West Washington. So again, 6 of 7 on the night for 86% after going 5 for 5 in that first half. They give it up 8 times, just like the Dogs, but 6 of their 8 came in that first half of play. Probably lucky to go into the locker room down just 3 at 16-13. So a much better job, just 2 turnovers in that second half of play. After the first quarter, 7-6 was your score. Bulldogs in front by 1. They outscored the Senators 9-7 in the second quarter and take a 16-13 advantage into the locker room. Senators come out and get worked 15-11 in that third quarter of play as Bousman and Mars, the only 2 able to get anything going offensively, for Coach Smith in that third quarter of play, and they trailed at 31-24 as the Senators started to make that little push right at the end of the period, including that three-pointer for Holden that kick-started that 11-0 run. Remember, they were down 31-20 there in the closing couple of minutes of the third quarter, and then they go on that 11-0 spurt, and they tie it up in the fourth at 31-33, but it just was not to be here tonight for Coach Smith's club as they fall and they get outscore the Dogs 11-9, but the damage already done, and they fall 40-35. Here's your final. Coach, you got the team statistics ready?
Senators inside the arc, 2-point field goals, 10 of 22, 46%. That's above average, our stat line. So actually we did a really nice job inside the arc. Again, outside the arc, 3 of 14 for 21. I think that was probably the stat of the game. We went 3 of 14. Orleans goes 5 of 13 for 39% beyond the arc. So because we actually, inside the arc, they were 7 of 22, so for 32. So actually overall, the Senators shoot 36%. Orleans only shoots 34%, but it's those efficient threes for the Bulldogs, 5 of 13, and basically the damage done by Gherkin, who was 4 of 8 from behind the arc. So he was the big gun for them, obviously, and he has been for them all season long. So we just couldn't slow him down enough to get the win. And again, that just wasn't our kind of game. I think I'll have to check it, and we'll probably talk about it on Friday. Games scoring under 40%, I think that makes us now 1-8, or 40 points makes us 1-8. That is just not our tempo. I think our guys like it up into the 50s or low 60s, and it goes better with us because these low possession games, even though we only turned